What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kennelia back with another Black News bonus episode. Today we're going to be recapping episode 4 of the final season of Insecure titled Faulty. Okay, let's get into it. This episode, it was okay. It was okay. It was good. I think because this is the final episode, we often are forgetting, and when I say we, I mean me, that the season has to build, and every episode is not going to be drama filled. And I'm especially taking that note because I am writing TV shows myself, and I understand pacing and I understand build and story arc. I understand having a start and an ending and a middle. I get that. I get the structure. But when it's not your show that you're working on and it's a fan favorite and it's like, kind of like a guilty pleasure, you want every episode to be some straight drama. And last week set us up for the mess. Woo, y'all, that last week episode with Lawrence and condolences was a lot to take in. So this week was shifting gears a little bit. I know I mentioned during predictions how it looked like they were on vacation. They were, in fact, not on a vacay. They was just at Light Skin's barber event at the beach. My bad, y'all. I thought they was going to go out of town. They had on sun bathing suits and stuff and was drinking. So whenever I see that, I think, Mexican? Anyway, so we are immediately, taken to the friend group. Kelly, Issa, Molly, chit-chatting it up, walking, and getting ready to interact with people at the beach event. Then we see Issa and Nathan having awkward moments. Issa awkward, the episode, the season, the series highlighted that. We know that's who she is. So it was very authentic to who her character represents. But there was an exchange, if y'all don't recall, last week. Light Skin left in the middle of the night because Issa bust out crying in his mouth when it was about to start tongue kissing. She was going to kiss him in the mouth, but instead she broke down. And instead of telling her goodbye, he dipset on her ass. So now they're just having this weird exchange. So it was a lot of interaction at the beach, right? It was one of their fellow barbers. She had the swimsuit on. Issa in her mind thinking that her and Nathan having sex. They had a funny moment where they talked about, oh yeah, somebody y'all trying to play spades, and he was like, yeah, is that just like so and so game? Knowing good and well, and like she said, ain't nobody teaching you how to play spades. I can relate. I am a Black person who cannot play spades, not because I didn't want to, because y'all don't be teaching us. I've never seen nobody get taught how to play spades. I've seen somebody just magically learn. They just magically know. It was no lesson. It wasn't nobody getting pulled to the side. I did do a show on Kevin on Stage Studios. Shout out to Kevin on Stage. And it's on the app right now. I believe called Black Card Revoked or Black Card. It was something, Keisha E show. Where Tony and Kev tried to teach us how to play spades and dominoes. I left that still not knowing how to play spades and dominoes. So we just going to leave it at that. But Issa don't know how to play either. So, the real Issa does because I saw her tweet. Okay, but whatever. Bragging much? No, I'm just playing. Y'all just don't be teaching us, and I'm sad. Anyway, we see a couple incidents throughout the episode where there was an earthquake at the beach and they had to evacuate. We also see the beginning stages of what seems to be Issa trying to be canceled by Crenshaw, who was Kofi Cerebo's character. Ralph Angel up here wreaking havoc on her on social media, calling her a fraud because of the situation that went down with his art show previously. We also are introduced to Light Skin's family. Apparently, he had family in LA County that he stayed with when he first moved from Houston. It was his cousin Thomas and cousin Thomas's wife. They were introduced and there was an awkward exchange because apparently Nathan was all over the place. And is that his name, Nathan? I prefer Light Skin. Light Skin was all over the place and eventually left and hadn't seen them since he left their home. But they did point out that he was just gone in the middle of the night. We also see fast forward later, and I'm jumping around a bit just so we can get to the meat of the conversation. We see later on that him and his cousin had a breakthrough conversation because Nathan or Light Skin thought that it was all on Thomas's wife why he couldn't stay there. And we actually discovered that it was Thomas because he just did not feel comfortable about the situation, because Nathan again was he was manic. We know that Nathan suffers from bipolar disorder. He seems to have a handle on it now. Him and Issa dealt with that when he was a little sporadic with her, but it sounds like and it looks like that he has it under control, but he still has not explained that to his cousin to give some backstory and to lend an explanation about his behavior. So hopefully they have that moment. But this happened outside of a Jason Derulo house party in the hills where they were trying to get into. Molly, we see her trying to decide between which dude out of two she was going to get a kitty cat to. One had an actual cat, so she kicked him to the curb and ended up going into the house party with the other. So there were some fun Molly moments in this one. There were also, and I saw this floating around social media that I want to put a pin in case this comes up and continues to be a theme throughout the season. Kelly is subtly crying out for help. Yes, she is joking and she is the comic relief, but I'm wondering if they are giving us nuggets with Kelly because she's due for a breakdown. Because as y'all know, it's always that strong friend who covers things up with like laughter and humor that's sometimes and most times not doing the best. So is she crying out for help? And this is going to be something that turns into a serious concern. So again, pinning that, we'll tackle that later on. But, and before we get into the meat of it, shout out, it was two comics in this that I know, Rashid Stevens and Ryan Davis, both did a fantastic job. Y'all know Insecure is good for putting comics into this show. We've had Ron G. A couple seasons ago, we had Chinadu, who is my friend Chinadu, who was in the first episode. Now we have Ryan and Rashid. So shout out to them for doing good work and booking them gigs. You feel me? But the meat of this conversation that I want to get into, we saw some reconciliation between Nathan, aka Light Skin, and Issa. Issa it's been a year because they fast forwarded since her and Lawrence had their revelation and they decided to part ways. Issa also has history with Nathan. They kicked it like last season or maybe the one before that. He disappeared on her, ghosted her. They reconciled but remained friends. And it seemed like throughout the episode, they both kind of thought they were in each other's friend zone, especially Light Skin. He was, saying to his homeboys, she don't know what she wants. She all over the place. When in fact, my boy, you were all over the place a couple seasons ago. So they equal in this account, in this, in this situation, but there was some reconciliation. So do we feel like it is a good decision or a good idea to double back and to date people that we've already dated before? To go back to people who have shown them and shown us who they were in previous instances? The answer can be yes or no. It could be don't do it and do it. This one in particular, we've been able to put a name to what was going on with Light Skin. He suffers from bipolar disorder. He recognizes that and he's doing better. He's treating himself. Maybe he's on medication. Whatever the case may be, that brother seemed to be doing a lot better. Once you recognize your what you're struggling with, it's easier for the people around you to know how to navigate and to handle it because they're trusting that you are in a place where you're capable of handling it. So he seems to be a slightly different person. He's still got some baggage that he's dealing with because some of the descriptions and the stuff that his cousin's wife were saying, it sounds like some elements are still with him in him, and that probably is who he is. But, he seems like he's changing. We're turning a corner. Now, Issa, it's been a year since her and Lawrence parted ways. But since she bust out crying in Light Skin mouth, she may not be over that. Or she has not fully accepted where she is and what's happening in her world around her. Maybe that could be it. Right? A lot of times you think something going good and everything going your way and it doesn't. She did mention how she just always waiting for the other shoe to drop. I've been there. I have been there. And when you wait for the other shoe to drop, that is a very vulnerable and emotional state to be in. So you always got your head on the swivel and you always looking over your shoulder and not allowing yourself to enjoy what is actually happening in real time. So in this case, I think, and this again from my perspective, if Issa and light skin can put personal boundaries around themselves about the things that they like and don't like, will and will not tolerate, want and don't want, I think their friendship and now this new situationship can be good, right? It can be good, but with those boundaries. Now, would I do it? Kennelia today? No. Kennelia today ain't double backing. Kennelia today can identify, I do a better job of identifying breakdowns in old relationships and deciding if it is and is not worth my time to revisit, or to trust that you have done the work that you need to do to make those adjustments. Now, does that mean that Kennelia ain't never gonna go back to nobody she ever kicked it with? No. That means though, right now, Kennelia can't think of nobody that she used to kick it with that she gonna go back to. So when I see Issa and light skin, I think immediately think, oh girl, I wouldn't do that. Because again, you've been down that road. You know what the road look like. You know what the sidewalk look like. I don't need to see the sidewalk no more. I want to see some other sidewalks. Okay. I want to see some other roads. I want to see the scenery in another neighborhood. That's what I want to see. Side note, they was outside in the hills having this conversation, East and light skin. It be coyotes out there. So the whole time I was thinking they need to hurry up and wrap this up and get back in the car before one of them coyotes come and bite their ass on the leg. Y'all know it be the wild, wild west in these Hollywood hills, honey. Okay. Mountain lions, coyotes, all kind of creatures. But I hope that this goes well for Issa and light skin. I do though predict, because I said that I predict that that Lawrence is going to have to move back down. I do predict when Lawrence moves back down, that is going to throw a wrench in Issa plans, because she's going to go back to that knowing what she want to do and being confused. Because it's one thing to move on when your man ain't even around, your old dude ain't even around, but it's another thing to try to move on when his ass live around the corner. It ain't easy. So my prediction is that later on that's going to throw a wrench in the situation. We also saw in the previews that something's going on with Molly's family. They were at the hospital. So hopefully it's nothing too tragic. But we're going to have to wait and see about that one. I also want to throw out there that while I mentioned that I would not double back, and if I were Issa, I, necessarily wouldn't do that if it were me. If it was Daniel coming back, I would give him another chance. Okay, I'm Team Daniel. Y'all can have light skin. Y'all can have Lawrence. Where Daniel at? That's the one. Okay. He the one. That brother was just being out here being a nice brother. Okay. Chocolatey. He was out here being fine and got thrown to the wayside. So if he come back, I'm all good. Another prediction is really going to hit the fan with Crenshaw, aka Ralph Angel. I feel like Ralph Angel going to be a problem. And that's Crenshaw for those who don't watch Queen Sugar. But let me know your predictions. Hit me up on social media. Give me your thoughts, right? Who at this point, now with this new budding relationship, are y'all now team Issa and light skin, or y'all still Lawrence Hive? Let me know. Hit me up at Kennelia. As always, it's your girl Kennelia, and I'll be back again next week to recap episode 5 of the final season of Insecure on HBO Max. Bye.